Hello everyone, so welcome back. So in this video, let's understand what is AWS Glue. Okay, so AWS Glue is basically a service by AWS. Okay, which it offers the ETL process. Okay, it provides ETL service. Okay, so you can see AWS Glue is fully managed ETL service that makes it simple and cost effective to categorize your data, clean it, enrich it, and move it reliably between the various data sources and data streams. So when I say ETL, basically it will extract, transform, and load. Okay, so when we compare the ETL services with the other other platforms, okay, which is already present in the market, but this AWS Glue is something unique, okay, because it is completely fully managed, okay. It is a serverless, okay, so where we are not worried about how to configure the hardwares and all those things, okay. So we need to point to the glue, and rest everything it will take care of it, okay. So here, so let's understand this in much in detail. So I'm going to cover, like, let's understand what is AWS Glue first, then when should we use this AWS Glue. Okay, so then we'll see the AWS Glue benefits. Okay, so then some of the concepts related to AWS Glue. We will see some of the terminologies, and finally we'll see a demo of how it gonna work. Okay, so first let's understand what is AWS Glue. So as I told you, so AWS Glue is a fully managed ETL service. So what is a fully managed? So fully managed in the sense, it's a serverless, right? So all the configuration is taken care by the AWS itself. Okay. So this service makes it simple and the cost effective to categorize your data, clean it, enrich it, and move it safely and reliably between the various data sources. So it compresses components such as central metadata repository known as AWS Glue data catalog. Okay, so basically it contains a repository called central metadata. Okay, central metadata repository known as a data catalog. Okay, where it contains all the metadata of the information, metadata of the data. Okay, an ETL engine that automatically generates a Python or Scala code and flexible schedulers that handle the dependency resolution, job monitoring, and retries. So basically, we have a concept of something called crawlers. Okay, so crawlers, once the crawlers is pointed, okay, it will get all these schemas, and okay, it will get the metadata information which is stored in the data catalog. Okay, so as I told you, it helps in the ETL process, right? So even it has the advantages that it will generate auto scripts. Okay, so where the script is generated, which helps in process to transform the data within itself. Okay, so it will generate the code in either in Python or Scala code. Okay, so AWS Glue is a serverless, okay, which means that there is no infrastructure to set up or manage. Okay, so this is what the AWS Glue is. Um, so when should we use this AWS Glue? Okay, so there are certain points here. So let's discuss this one by one. To build a data warehouse, okay, to organize, clean, and validate and format data. Okay, so whenever if you are a data engineer, if you're looking to build a data warehouse solution, okay, so then of course this is a service by AWS where you can just make use of it. Okay, so it helps into building a data warehouse. So where it can transform as well as move AWS cloud data into your data store. Okay, you can also load data from the disparate sources into your data warehouses for the regular reporting and the analysis. So by storing it in data warehouse, okay, so integrate information from the different parts of your business, provide a common source of data for the decision process, right? So when we talk about ETL, it's very simple process, right? So when you say ETL, in ETL architecture. Okay, so these are the main three things. Okay, so we'll have a data source, whether it could be structured, unstructured. Okay, so this is what the extraction is. Then we transform it. Okay, so transform in the sense we clean the data. Okay, we validate, we check the format of the data. Okay, so all those things can be done in the transform, and then finally we load the data, right? And in the ETL, in the glue, okay, so what does it do is in this step, okay, it has something called crawlers, okay, where we point crawlers to the data sources. It will get all the metadata information which is stored in the data catalog. Okay, that is, which is a central repository I told you. And to transform, okay, so whatever the data we are getting, okay, it will automatically generates the scripts. Okay, this is what makes the glue unique. Okay, and finally we load to the destinations. Okay, so this is what which helps to build the data warehouse solutions. So next is when you run a serverless queries against your AWS S3 data lake. So this here, like for example, we have a data inside the S3. Okay, so if we want to query data which is present in the S3, not without getting the data into the different part, right? So we can just do this with help of Athena, right? So even I have just showed you in hands-on also. Okay. So AWS Glue can catalog your Amazon Simple Storage Service data, making it available for querying with Amazon Athena and Amazon Redshift. Okay, so these are the two way. For example, we have a data in the S3, right? So if I want to query the data, okay. With the help of Amazon Athena, so I can just do it, right, by pointing to the glue, and even Amazon Redshift. Okay, so I can just point to the glue and I can do all the analysis. Okay, Amazon Redshift spectrum, right? So with the crawlers, your metadata stays in the synchronization. Okay, with the underlying data, Athena and Redshift spectrum can directly query your S3 data lake with the help of AWS Glue data catalog. The data will be in the S3 itself. Okay, will not fetch that data into different any other part. Okay, so we store the data in the S3. So but we can just query all this with help of the AWS Glue. So with the AWS Glue, you access as well as analyze data through one unified interface without loading into the multiple data silos. This is what I was talking about. Okay. So this is the where okay. So next point. So when you want to create event-driven ETL pipelines, yeah. So if you want to create ETL pipelines, we can make use of this AWS Glue, right? So you can run your ETL jobs as well as new data becomes available in Amazon S3 by invoking your AWS Glue ETL job from AWS Lambda function. So you can also register the new data set in the AWS Glue data catalog, considering it as a part of your ETL jobs. Okay. So next is to understand your data assets. Okay. So you can store your data using various AWS services and still maintain unified view of your data using AWS Glue data catalog. So as I told you, the data catalog is under repository, right? So where it contains all the metadata information. So I can, with help of Glue, I can keep track of all the data which is present, which has been got from the various AWS services, right? So we can view the data catalog to quickly search and discover the data sets, okay, that you own and maintain the relevant metadata in the one single repository. So the data catalog also serves as a drop-in replacement for your external Apache Hive metastore, right? So it's the replacement for this Apache Hive metastore. So now let's see some of the benefits. Okay, so why we need to choose the AWS Glue. First, it is less hassle, right? So AWS Glue is integrated across a very wide range of AWS services. So AWS Glue natively supports data stored in Amazon Aurora and all other Amazon RDS engines, Amazon Redshift, and the S3, along with the common database engines and database in your VPC running on the Amazon EC2. Okay, so this is what it is integrated with the wide variety of the services where we can just point to the glue and rest everything. It will take care of it, right? It's very simple to configure the AWS Glue. It is cost effective. So as the AWS Glue is serverless, so there is no infrastructure to provision or manage. So AWS Glue handles the provisioning, configuration, and the scaling of resources required to run your ETL jobs on fully managed scale-out Apache Spark environment. You pay only for the resources that you use while your jobs are running. So we pay only for the jobs which are running under this AWS Glue. So next is more power, right? So AWS Glue automates a specified amount of effort in building, maintaining, and running ETL jobs. It crawls your data sources, crawls up to data sources, identify the data formats as well as suggest the schemas and transformations, and automatically Glue automatically generate the code to execute your data transformation loading process. So this makes the Glue unique, right? So because once it crawls data, it will identify all the formats. Even other services also find this, but here it will automatically generate the code, okay, transformation code, okay, whether it's in the Python or the Spark format. And Scala language, right? Where we can just it will give us suggestions. Okay, this is what the transformation which can make. Even we can make edit those scripts, but it will automatically generate those scripts to transform for the data transform and loading into the data warehouses. Okay, so this is what makes the glue unique. Okay, so now let's try to understand its architecture. Okay, so whatever I was explaining, so here you can see, so once we define jobs in AWS Glue, okay, we define all these jobs in AWS Glue, okay, to accomplish the work that required to extract, transform, and load data from the data sources to target. So we perform this some of the operations. So this is the entire pipeline here. So we have a data source, okay, so where do we extract? Then we have something called transform, okay, so then we have then we load the data, okay, transform the data. Okay, before doing the entire ETL process, this is how it's going to work. So first we have a crawler, we create a crawler. So crawler will point to the data stores, okay, so where it will get all the metadata information. Okay, so all that metadata information, that is the number of rows, about its data types, okay, which is a schema, right? It will generate the schema and everything will be stored where? So it will be stored under the data catalog. So that's what we say. So it's a central repository of the data. Okay, where we get information about our data sets. Okay, so all the information, this data can be will be present under the data log. Okay, so data catalog. Okay, so based on this the metadata information, we create a job. Okay, so when we create a job, it will point to the data which is present in data catalog. This is the metadata information, right? So that job can be executed on demand, or we can give a schedule, or we can even those particular jobs. Okay, so this is how it basically done, and whatever the metadata, it's done in the AWS management console. Okay, that's what it's pointing. Okay, so we can just transform it where it will generate the automatic scripts. Okay, and finally we load the data to the data target. Okay, so this is very simple. Okay, so this is how it basically works. Okay, so I'll just repeat it once again. So first you define a crawler, okay, to populate your AWS data catalog with the metadata table definitions. Okay, so you point your crawler at a data store, and crawler creates a table definitions in the data catalog. Okay, in addition to the table definitions, the data catalog contains other metadata. It's required to define the ETL jobs. So use this metadata when you define a job to transform your data. So then AWS Glue can generate its scripts to transform your data, or you can provide the scripts in AWS Glue console or API. So once this is done, so you can run your job on demand, or you can just set up when specified trigger occurs. Okay, so trigger can be time based or an event. Okay, so when a job runs, the scripts extract the data from your data store, transforms the data and loads it into the data target. Okay, so and whatever the scripts could be in the Apache Spark environment. Okay, in the AWS Glue. Okay, so this is what the glue architecture is. Okay, so this is what I have just written here. Okay, so same thing. Okay, so now let's see the terminologies which we use in the glue. Okay, so first we'll see what is data catalog. So as I told you, so it is a persistent metadata stored in the AWS Glue. It contains the table definitions, job definitions, and other control information to manage your AWS Glue environment. That is what the data, this is central repository. Next we have something called classifiers. So classifiers determine the schema of the data. So here AWS Glue provides a classifiers for common file types. So like data, like what type of file it is. Okay, so whether it's a CSV file or JSON file, okay, XML file, others, this is what the classifiers. Next we have a connections. Basically it contains a properties that are required to connect to your data store. Okay, so these all things we can see. Okay, if I show you when I go to the Glue here, AWS Glue. So you can see, so here we have crawlers, right? So we have connection. This is what I'm explaining here. Okay, so what the connection contains? So connection, it contains the properties that are required to connect your data. Okay, so it contains all the properties which is under the connections. This is what the classifiers is. So basically classifiers, it determine the it's the property that are required to connect your data stores, right? So this is what the classifiers is. Which is right now we can even add the classifiers. Determine the schema of your data, and you can use the AWS Glue classify your data. Okay, this is the connections. A connection contain the property that needed to connect your data. Okay, so next we have a crawler itself, which is very important, right? So a program, basically a crawler is a program that connects to your data store. Okay, so that is it could be a source or target. process through the prioritized list of classifiers. Okay, so list of classifiers to determine the schema for your data, and then creates a metadata table inside the data catalog. Okay, so this is what the classifiers crawlers is. Okay, so you can see, so right now we have one crawler which is being run. Okay, so you can see crawler create connects to data store, process through, this is what I was just doing. Okay, so this is what the crawlers is. So next is database itself. Okay, so it is a virtual database. Okay, a set of associate data catalog tables. Okay, whatever the tables is being generated by the crawler, it will be where it has to store. It has to store in the database, under database in some table, right? So this is what the database is associated, a set of associated data catalog tables definition organized into logical groups in AWS Glue. So next is data store, data source or data target. Okay, so this all things is a repository for storing the data. Okay, and data store source is a data store that is used as input to a process or a transform. A data target is a data store that a process or transforms write to. Okay, so next we have development endpoints. Okay, so it's an environment that you use to develop and test your AWS Glue ETL scripts. This is what the endpoint is. Next, we have a job itself. It's a basically business logic which is required to perform ETL work. It is composed of transformation scripts, okay, data sources, and the data targets. Okay, you can access the jobs from here. You can see this is what add job. Okay, you can create a new jobs here. So next we have a notebook servers. It is a web-based environment that you can use to run your PySpark statements. So PySpark is a Python built for the ETL programming. Okay, next we have script itself where it contains code, okay, to extract the data from the sources, transform it and loads into your targets, right? So it next is table, so where it contains the metadata definition that okay, we define the schema of the data. Next, basically, what's the basic of transform? Is a code logic to manipulate your data into a different format, right? So where we clean the data. Next, finally, trigger. So trigger is basically initiating the ETL job. You can define triggers based on the schedule time or event. Okay, these are some of the terminologies which you should know before working with the Glue, AWS Glue. So now let's create let's see how a glue works. Okay, so here this is what steps we follow. Okay, we create a data source for AWS Glue, then crawl the data sources to data catalog, then the crawl metadata in the glue tables, and finally AWS Glue job for the data information and reading the glue scripts. Okay, so this is how it's done. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, so first step is we need to add a crawler. Okay, so I'll just click on to the add crawler. Okay, so you need to give the crawler name. Okay, so I'll just give ineuron uh, crawler. Okay, so next, so once you click on to once you give the crawler name, so first is crawler, right? So because we need to point to the data store, so here the data is in S3. Okay, even I'll just show you. So I've kept the data inside the S3. If I just go to the S3, um, I have created a bucket called glue demo. So inside this, I've created two folders. One is read, okay, from where I can read the data. That is, I have uploaded the movie data final. I'll just show you the data also. This is what the data it is. Okay, where it has rank, okay, movie title, year, and rating. Okay, so this is what the data is. Okay, I have uploaded. And one more is to store the output result. Okay. Yeah, so I'm creating a caller. So first, I give a caller name called ineuron crawler. Okay, so next is I need to specify the crawler source type. So crawler source type is a data store. Okay, or existing data tables. Okay, I need to select that. So right now it's data source, and basically I need to give the whether I need to crawl all the folders or only the folders which is being added newly. Okay, I can just select this. So I'll just select the crawler, crawl all the folders. I click on next. So choose a data store, there is S3, and the connections, okay, so not required. Crawl data, okay, I need to clear the include path. Okay, so I'll just go here. It's in the Amazon, so it's in the read. Okay, I'll just select. Okay, so samples I'll skip. Next. Okay, so do you want another data store? No. I'll click on next. I need to attach the IAM role. Okay, so here I can create a new role here, or if you have any existing role, you can just choose it. Okay, so I'll just create a new role called demo glue new. Okay, I'll click on next. Okay, so here I need to check the frequencies. Okay, so frequency in the sense like when I want to run this. Basically it's on demand or hourly basis or daily. I need to what run this crawler based on the demand or daily or weekly or monthly. So I'll go with the demand. Okay, so here the database. So here what I'll do, I'll create a new database. So database name I'll give as new DB. Okay, so I'll create. So I'll be kept in the new DB. Okay, so I'll click on next. So this is what information which I've just created. Click on finish. So right now it is in ready state. What I'll do, I'll just check this and run crawler. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, let's wait. You can just fast forward the video. So we'll get as it's stopping, don't worry. It will before getting started, it will go to the stage, okay, that stopping stage, then it will become ready, okay. So don't get panic. It's not stopping, like it's you're not getting any errors, okay. So until you get failed, okay. So right now it is in stopping. So it's in the stopping stage. So meanwhile, I'll just show you this architecture. Yeah. So this was shade in the requirements, right? So where it is basically a complete data engineering. You can say like it includes all the data engineering pipelines because where we create the end-to-end project, right? So starting from the data sources, okay. So the sources could be anything from the RDS or DynamoDB, okay. So where we have a ingestion layer. Okay, so here in the ingestion layer, we can just use the AWS Lambda, okay, where we write the Lambda functions, or we can use the AWS Glue, right? So to point to these data sources, or we can use the Amazon Elastic Map Reduce, right? So here the data ingestion of the two types, okay, we have a batch and we have a streaming. So this entire streaming is gonna complete in a March release, okay, so where I'm gonna complete entire AWS data engineering, okay, so they're starting from data sources to um, till the end, okay, so where we can create a business logic and basically end-to-end project, okay. So it's what the data streaming it includes. So data ingestion where we have streaming, basically kinesis data stream, analytics or fair host, right? So this is what the data ingestion layer is, okay. So here when we are data ingestion, okay, so even we have application integration, okay. So where it could be from the where you can integrate with the SNS, okay, simple queue, SQS or SNS notification service or simple queue service, okay. And that the particular data, whatever, it can be stored under the SD storage, or we can have the crawlers, okay. So we can just set up, okay, it can store in the data lake or in the data warehouse. In the data lake, basically we'll have a raw data, uh, so we can store the data in the data in the Redshift. Okay, so is what the data warehouse solutions. And from here we can just have the can create a business logic with help of AWS Glue again and EMR or Lambda functions. Okay, so even this has been added a new course, okay, in Amazon QuickSight, okay, where I have just shown you how to connect with the Amazon Redshift as well as the Athena. Okay, and this is the monitoring CloudWatch. Okay, so which already present in the this thing. Anyways, okay, in the March release, we are gonna build end to end from this is what the entire data engineering pipeline. Okay, so let's see whether this has been yeah. So you can see right now it's in ready state. Okay, so if I click on to this I need on crawler. Okay, so all the details you can see. If you want to edit, you can just do it. Okay, so I'll go to the database first. Okay, so if I go to the databases, so here is all the databases I have created in new DB, right? Yeah, so new DB, inside the new DB I'll check the tables. So right now I have this read table, right? So in the read table you can see all the columns you got. So I just chosen here the small data set, but if you add it will take more time, okay, because it has to crawl, it has to check number of columns here, okay, it has to find the data type of that particular column, okay, it will take more time, okay. So you can see this is the 4 columns we have, okay. So this is the steps which have followed. What we have created a crawler and pointed to the data store, that is the S3, okay. There's the data set there, okay. It got so it got sorry, basically it got all the metadata information, okay, and stored it in the data catalog, okay. You can see it's in the data catalog, and so all the metadata has been stored. This is in database. Inside the database it has a tables, fine. So this is what we have done. So now next is like so if you want to create a job, okay, so whatever the data present we here we have, okay, so we can go to the jobs here, okay. So inside the jobs, okay, so you can create a job, okay, so based on like a spark spread editor or with the visual blank, okay. So we have a drag and drag info interface. We can write the Python shell script editor, okay. So even so where we can give everything, okay. So here if I want to create a job, I'll click on create job, okay. So if I just go to the scripts, okay, see this is auto generated, okay. If I just give here all the like so whatever the source or whatever the transformation I want, like if I want to apply the mapping, or if I want to select certain columns from the data, or if I want to drop the fields, drop null fields, or drop the duplicates, rename, okay. If I want to do joining, filter, router, aggregate, you can see like we have many transformations, we can just do it, okay. So that's source and target and apply the transformations, or so whatever you're just doing here, it will automatically generate the script over here, okay. So if you want to create if you want to add your script, okay, you can just do it here, okay. So before this, okay, so first let's add script, okay. So which have already added the script in the previous what I'll do, I'll just close this, okay. So if you see under the jobs, so because it take so this is the job which I've just did an hands-on, okay. So if I just open this, okay, so you can see this is what the script I have added, okay. Even I'll just share the script. So for this what it's the same thing, okay. So I have just uploaded so if I just go to the crawler, this is what the crawler I created for this tutorial, okay, before making this tutorial. So this is Imran CR, right? Same thing. So inside CR, so if I just, it's in the database. Which database? It's MyDB iNeuron. So if I go to the database, MyDB iNeuron, inside the MyDB iNeuron I have a table called read. So inside this read, I have a same columns, okay. So same thing, okay. So now for the jobs, okay, I have added scripts on my own, okay. Like I edited script, okay. So here basically what this script is doing, okay. So here we are so if you have already script, okay, so if you want to create a script, you can just do it, okay. So here we are just basically doing a transformation, okay. So let's try to see this. So before this, if I see the job, go to the job details, okay. So here you need to give the basic description, like select the IAM role, then what type of ETL job, whether it's a Spark or a Spark streaming, okay, then Glue version, then the language you're using, okay, so all this thing you need to enable. And important is number of tries, okay. For example, while running the job, okay, it got some errors, but if you want to retry it once again, you can just give the number of retries. I've given as one here, okay, you can just select all those things. Fine, so this is what the script is. So where first is we importing the libraries and setting the variables. So here I'm just pointing the DB to the MyDB I need on, and table is read, right? And this is the right path. So right path is basically the output, right? So this is my S3 bucket. This is what the output, okay? This is what next is I'm reading the data, okay? So this is the date time on this is what I'm just reading the data, converting to the dynamic frame, okay? This is what the Spark code which I've just done, okay? So then I'm just transforming some of the data and aggregating. Okay, this is not important, but yeah, you should know how to perform all the rest everything for your project. You can just do it. Okay, so this once it's done, okay, so just click on save. Okay, so once your job is saved, click on run. Okay, so it will run the job. So you can see in the job details, sorry, in the runs, you can see right now my job is running. So meanwhile, you can just check all the logs here, output logs and error logs. It's in running state. So here what we are doing, we're just reading the movie data from the S3. Okay, then we are getting the movie count and the rating average for each decade. Okay, so whatever the data I've just passed, and we are aggregating the data back to the S3. Okay, so it will store in the S3 bucket that has an output. Okay, in that folder. Okay, and here main thing is we are getting the movie count and rating average. Okay, this is what the data was, right? Movie count and the rating average for each decade. Okay. So meanwhile it runs, I'll just show you once again. So you need to go to the jobs. So once you go to the jobs, okay, so here you need to click on to the create job, directly go to the script and edit script, okay, so confirm. So before adding the script, go to the job details and add the IAM role, type, glue version, language, and set everything and paste it the script, okay. And yeah, rest everything you can just do it as it is, right? So if you don't want to add the title script, so here you have a ways to do it. So here you can directly go to the okay, so here if I just go to the create, okay, so here I have to select the data source, like what is the database. After setting database, I need to choose the table, like this was the database, and here I don't have any tables, okay. Default, yeah, I have this table. Then I need to give everything. You can see it's getting right checked, right? So then I need to apply the transformations, like you can see it got so based on the table, you will get all the source keys and data type if you want to drop, or if you want to draw any transformation, you can just do it here. For example, if I want to drop this, okay, this is what I'm only thing I need to do. Then I need to give the target, and rest you need to then save and run it. Okay, this is the way how you can just run, or directly you can just edit the scripts. Okay, see, as soon as you do it, so here it's generating automatic scripts. This is the visual, but here it got, see, this is not I have written. Okay, so automatically got generated all the scripts, right? So this is, you can do one more way. Okay, got succeeded. Okay, if I just go to the S3 bucket, okay, in the output, okay, so you can see like this is yesterday I just run once again. You can see like I have run today also. If I just download this, okay, and open it, open with notepad. Okay, so you can see, so this is what the data I got. Okay, so decade, this is what decade is. This is a movie count. Okay, in this 1990 decade, we have 4 movies. In 2000, this in 1970s 2, and this is the one movie. and the rating mean. Okay, so this is what I've added in the script. So even I'll just share this script with you. So this is the Spark script, but what you need to make changes is you need to make the changes of the DB which you are creating, the table, and even the writing path. Okay, this is the three things which you need to change. Okay, so rest everything will remain the same. Okay, so this is what the about the AWS Glue. So let me know if you have any doubts and if you want to ask anything in the discussion forum.